Hi, it's me, Ivy, aka the main protagonist, and in this video I will be recapping my Gallifrey One 2023. Now, I have to apologize really quick. It appears that the first edition of this video, the file got corrupted, so I'm re-recording it just in case, and you might notice that some framing and some things are off. I'm very sorry about that. I'm just upset about it as you are, which, wait, you're probably not upset about it at all. So I'm more upset than you are about it. But we're just gonna get into it. Today I'm gonna be talking about what I did at Gallifrey One, how much it meant to me, and just the whole thing. So if you want to if you want to stick around, you can do that. You can tell I'm a little bit frazzled. So I flew into LA a day early. Things officially sort of kick off at Gallifrey One on Thursday night, but I showed up on Wednesday, and honestly, I'm so glad I did because things were already kind of kicking off, not officially, but so many people were already there that they were hanging out at what we affectionately like to call Lobby Con. Now, Lobby Con, we call it that because the downstairs level is where the actual convention is, so that's where all the panels, photo shoots, things are, and there's not really a lot of space down there for people to just hang out and just socialize, so many people go up to the lobby and hang out there. And you'll notice that I mentioned Lobby Con a lot throughout the video. In fact, a majority of this video is just going to be talking about meeting friends, spending time with them, or you'll just hear me reference that a lot because that was the majority of what I did all weekend. I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to meet so many people that I just know through the screen, and I knew that I really needed to cherish that time and spend time with them. And so there was a lot of things that I did pass up to spend time with them, but I don't regret it at all. I just want to say you might hear that mentioned a lot. One of the friends I met is Dominic G. Martin, who is Who Chaser on YouTube, does a lot of cosplay, plays his own edition of the Doctor, the Purple Doctor, creates fan audios, all that stuff. He's just an all-around great guy, very classy, very sweet, and so nice, and I'm so glad that we got a chance to meet this year, so that was so cool. We also got to meet Sophie Aldred, because we were talking and she just kind of walked on by and said hi to us, so that was pretty cool. I also met two very lovely people. I don't know what their comfort level is as far as me mentioning them, but they know who they are. My adopted parents, they helped me get orientated this year so much. I think I mentioned in last year's video that last year I was a bit of a wallflower, and this year it was a little bit like that because the people I knew who were coming hadn't really arrived yet, so I was kind of just hanging out, and I sat down and by chance met two really great new friends who told me that I should try to volunteer on Thursday morning because I might have an opportunity to help build the TARDIS. Now, if someone tells you that you have an opportunity to build a TARDIS, you know, whether it's a real TARDIS or just a prop, you don't say no. So I didn't, and I did volunteer Thursday morning, and I had a great time. I actually really recommend that you volunteer if you have the time to. Pretty easy, you get to meet a lot of great people, and you have a chance of being able to build the TARDIS, which was such a cool experience. I was totally geeking out. We're like trying to put it together, and I had to brace one part of it, and I was kind of just like hugging it a little bit because I'm like, it's the TARDIS. Like, I just had a great time with that. So Thursday got off to a really nice start. Next thing I did is I kind of got a little set up. I did a couple of projects for Gallifrey One. One of those being drink water signs because I was super dehydrated last year, and unfortunately this year too because I didn't listen to my signs. And I put them up, and they were just kind of funny, like photoshopped little edits of the Doctor, you know, and drink water. And I had one of the Creeper 8 meme from the comics saying drink water. And I think somebody took it because I put it up on the elevator going down. And then I went, you know, back up the elevator, back down, make sure it was secure, and it was gone. And I was like, who took my Creeper 8 drink water poster? Like, don't get me wrong, it probably fell on the floor and somebody thought it was trash, so they got rid of it. But at the same time, I'm like, I think somebody took it. And why would they do that? I was also so happy I got to meet one of my best friends, Alex, who has been my friend for about 3 years, and we got to meet in person for the first ever time, and that was a great experience. I totally ran like 3 blocks to get to her hotel just to meet her, and we went to the ice cream social together as I was kind of explaining a lot of stuff, and I ran into Sophie Aldred again because it's a very laid-back atmosphere at Gallifrey One. So we were just at the ice cream social, just hanging around talking to people, and Sophie Aldred was just also walking around talking to people. So she said hi, we got like a picture, it was just very cool. And then some of my friends texted me a little bit later, and they were like, yeah, we saw Chris Chibnall at the bar just hanging out with people. And I was like, I gotta go see him, because the thing you have to understand, and I apologize if I end up saying this twice, because again, I had to refilm certain parts, and I'm not entirely sure what I have to refilm, but Chris Chibnall was so cool all weekend. Like, he was just hanging out with people, having a great time. And I mean, it was just so cool. He was at karaoke at one point, and we were kind of hanging around seeing if he would sing. He didn't. But he was so nice just hanging out with people, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But we did see him at the bar, and we got to say hi also to him really quick. So that was a cool experience, and the rest of the night I kind of just hung out with friends. Dealer's room, which is where they have all the merch and, you know, a lot of the autograph tables. I went book hunting for a friend and was successful. The super cool thing was that they had like an interactive TARDIS console in the dealer's room. So I believe the person attending it said it's basically like an adult fidget cube, and it was, because you just walk up to this interactive TARDIS and there's buttons and levers and little knobs everywhere, and you're just messing with all of it, and it was so much fun. If you watched my video about last year's Gallifrey One, you know that I attended Mandip Gill's script read, and so I got a signed copy of the Eve of the Daleks script, and I knew I wanted to bring that this year to try and get Chris Chibnall and Jodie's autograph to kind of complete that trifecta, because I don't imagine myself getting John Bishop's autograph, just because I don't think he'll ever come to Gallifrey One. But I was able to get Chris Chibnall's autograph, which it may or may not be in focus. I apologize if it's not. But this is another time where I'm gonna talk about Chris Chibnall, because when I say he was cool all weekend, I mean he was cool. You guys, he didn't charge anything for his autographs, and I know he signed a lot of them. When I got in line to get an autograph for him, there must have been about 100 people in line, because I was in line for about 20 minutes, and that was when they started saying, you know, we're probably going to have to cut this short and have some people wait to the next day, because there was 30 minutes left in his signing block, and there was 45 people still waiting to get things signed. And that was like after I had been waiting in line for a bit. So there was so many people, so little time, and he was still signing so many of those autographs for free. Between that and just his general attitude of hanging around at the bar, hanging around at karaoke, meeting fans, spending time with people, just being super relaxed, like, I cannot stress how chill and how cool he was all weekend, and I really hope that he was able to relax and have a great time as well. No matter how you feel about his era or about anything, he's still a person. I feel like I already had so much respect and so much love for him, but I have even more now, and I think a lot of other people gained a lot more respect for him, which was very nice, because he is a person and he deserves a lot of respect, you guys. Again, regardless of how you feel, he still put in so much time, so much hard work, and so much effort into this show that we love. He deserves recognition and respect for that, and I'm so glad that it seems like he got that at Gallifrey One, and I really hope that it was an open, welcome, and really nice experience for him. Pretty soon after I got Chris Chibnall's autograph, I was able to meet Jodie Whittaker at one of their Gallifrey One's more private paid events, which was the drinks reception Friday night. So at the drinks reception, there's like you and a couple other galley goers at the table, and then the celebrity guests, there's about 6 of them, and they move from table to table, and you get a little bit of time with each of them. And it's only about 5 minutes, but it honestly feels a lot longer when you're in the moment. I was so excited to meet Jodie, and I have to say, you know, you see it a lot in her portrayal of the Doctor, but just in interviews and, you know, just in general, that she's a very energetic, very bubbly, very social person. And I can definitely confirm that that's true. I believe she mentioned during the drinks reception that she had very recently gotten off of her 17-hour flight from Australia, where she's filming right now, and she was still like bouncing off the walls in a good way. She was just so energetic and so kind, and it was like kind of inspiring. It was just really nice to talk to her. I think my table talked with her about like the Goonies and just vintage TV and all that stuff. And like I said, it felt a lot longer than 5 minutes. And it was kind of funny because she cut her hair shorter in the back. You can't really tell from the front, but you can from the back. And so me and all the other people on Twitter who were at her drinks reception were telling people like, oh my god, Jodie's hair is short. And people didn't believe us. People thought that we were pranking them, that we all just made up that Jodie Whittaker cut her hair. And I'm like, we are not that coordinated, guys. Like, I promise you, Jodie Whittaker did not sit us down. Like, she was about to ask us to join the Avengers Initiative, and she was like, you need to tell the Thassies on Twitter that I cut my hair, and be a big secret between, like, that didn't happen. But people didn't believe us, and you weren't allowed to record or take pictures of the drinks reception. So until the next day, we, like, didn't have the ability to prove that she had cut her hair. That was just a bit wild that happened. And I actually ended up having to leave that drinks reception early because I was on my first ever convention panel ever of all time, which was about toxic fandom and how to cure it. Pretty nervous. I did apply to be on these panels and I did provide some background. I told them like I've talked about fandom in the past and stuff like that, but I didn't think I'd get chosen for 3. You'll hear me talk about 3 throughout this video. And this was my first ever, like I had never done it before and I was very nervous, but it went so much better than I thought it was going to. It was a really nice experience. I feel like we had a lot of constructive, meaningful conversation about toxic fandom. The audience questions were great. And it was just a great experience because I think it went so smoothly that it gave me the confidence for the other 2 panels that I had to complete. So that was very nice that I didn't have like a bad first panel and then that made me super nervous for the other ones. Hung out with even more friends after that. Like I said, you'll hear that a million times throughout this video. There was just so many people that I was so thankful that I had a chance to meet. And again, well, I don't know if I said it again because I'm refilming everything, but you can't pass that chance up when you know that so many people that you think to yourself, I'll never meet you in person, I'll never have the chance. And then all of a sudden there's like 30 or 40 that you do have the chance to meet and you can't pass that up. So yeah, I mostly spent time with friends this Gallifrey One. It was just a great first day and you'll hear me say this again, but it's hard to go to sleep at Gallifrey One because you don't want the day to end. But you know, getting Chris's autograph, getting to meet Jodie, getting to meet all my friends, it was just a very great first day, official day of Gallifrey One. So that was nice. First thing I did Saturday, of course, after LobbyCon, was I got to meet Jodie Whittaker very briefly, again, to take my photo with her. That was really great. I actually ended up wearing my Narvin Says Gay Rights shirt because I didn't time things well. So that's a little bit iconic. But it was nice meeting her, but I was so nervous in line because after that photo was taken, pretty much right after, I had my second panel of the weekend, which was my second panel ever, but it was the first panel ever that I moderated, which meant that I kind of led the discussion and asked the rest of the panelists questions. But the panel went extremely well, and I'm so thankful. People have given me a lot of compliments about it. I think I went into it, super anxious, but it ended up being not as scary as I thought. I was really not super confident in my ability to lead the discussion and to kind of move things along and keep it productive, keep it meaningful, but I had a lot of help from the other panelists, and it ended up going really, really great. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to record any of this panel. I really wish I could because it went so great, and I think it was very touching, not just for me and the other panelists, but for the audience as well. We discussed a lot of things. I believe we started out with how Doctor Who has affected our identities, whether that be a sexuality or a gender identity, and then just kind of what representation means to us and the power of being seen in the media that you consume. The ribbon sash was getting so long at this point. It's crazy. It's definitely longer than last year's. I believe on Saturday it was around 8 feet. And I ended up having to get it sewed because it was so long that it was just kind of starting to fall apart. And so I had to take care of it and get it sewed by the costume repair little booth. I'm missing stuff. I feel like I'm missing stuff. I think I'm gonna put this video out and then there's gonna be like a million things I missed and I'm gonna be so mad. Hi, it's Editing Ivy, and I did forget something. I did a podcast, the Who's There podcast, and we were talking about my experience at Gallifrey One, and I realized I forgot to mention, you know, some of you know that I love the Doctor Who TV movie. I love the Doctor Who TV movie. If you don't know that I love the Doctor Who TV movie, you know now, and I'd like you to keep that in mind because it's my favorite Doctor Who thing ever. And I was very honored to be able to meet Matthew Jacobs and Vanessa Ewell, who made the documentary Doctor Who Am I, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet, but, you know, Matthew Jacobs was involved with the Doctor Who TV movie. He wrote it, and that was crazy. That was such an honor, because it's like my favorite Doctor Who thing ever, and I got a chance to, like, tell him that, and tell him that I just love it so much, like, the different parts of it that I liked. It just, you know, what scenes were my favorite about, like, everything. And so that was so cool, and I'm so honored that I got a chance to meet them. So forgot to put that in, but now we have it. One thing that was really cool is, again, most of my weekend was just hanging out with friends, but I was able to get boba with friends, and they have a dance party every Saturday at Gallifrey One. It was so much fun, and I told some of the people who know the organizers, like, we need a dance party every night at Gallifrey One, because I don't usually stay up that late, but we were at the dance party until like 2 a.m. It was so great. Like, it was just so much fun, and I was like, I'm tired. My muscles are tired. I'm like, I want to go to bed so bad, but at the same time, I don't want to miss this dance party. And just in general, that was the vibe every night at Gallifrey One. It would get to like midnight, and you're sitting there like, oh, I should really go to bed, but you just don't want to, because then it means like one day of Gallifrey One is done, and it's like this really sad feeling, like a Cinderella feeling. It's like, okay, the clock struck midnight, my time's running out, I need to go to bed, but if I go to bed, then I might lose out on more fun with my friends. So it was very hard to sleep at Gallifrey One 2023. Sunday started off really great. I started off Sunday by going to Jodie Whittaker's script read, and she read from Power of the Doctor. Now, Jodie didn't actually play the Doctor throughout a majority of the script read, because what happens during the script reads is the guest, you know, Jodie in this case, plays one part, and then they call upon volunteers from the audience to play all the other parts. And so Jodie had a lot of fun with it. She played the Master at one point, she played Yaz at one point, and then sometimes she would just do the directing notes, and she would make all the sound effects, which was so funny. But it was just so great, and my best friend Alex got to act like right next to her, and Chris Chibnall, because Chris Chibnall, again, he's just hanging out the whole weekend, and he was in the room at Jodie's script read, just kind of standing against the wall watching everything go down. And in one scene, she called upon him to play a Dalek, which was just so great. And my best friend's there in the middle, just acting with both of them. She's so lucky. And I was like in the crowd, like a proud mom with my phone, taking a million pictures. And she had a great time. Everybody had a great time. Another person who got a chance to shine was Katy, who dresses up as 13. Does a great impersonation, does so many great TikToks, and the way the whole room cheered when she got picked to play the Doctor, you have no idea. I was so happy for her and so proud of her. Like, it was so great. And just like with Mandip's script reading last year, I had a great time, and it was really one of the biggest highlights of my whole weekend. One really meaningful part was Jodie got to act out her regeneration scene as it was written, not as it was edited, and that was a bit emotional. But it was just in general so nice getting to see her act, getting to see my friends act, and it was just a very joyous, happy, fun event. So that was just great. There was a point on Sunday where I was so grateful. I got the opportunity to speak with Jeanette Fielding and Sophie Aldred, and they're just so nice. And we were just kind of chatting about normal stuff like thrifted sweaters, and it was just nice, really super cool to get to meet them. They were very kind enough to sign my Power of the Doctor script, And it was such a cool experience, and you know, it's just nice to hang out with them. I was so grateful to have that experience and to get to meet them. That was another great highlight of the weekend, so that was pretty cool. The closing ceremony was a little bit emotional because I had such a great weekend, getting to meet so many friends, getting to spend time with them, whether it be at events like script reads or mostly at LobbyCon. People that I never thought I would have a chance to meet in person, and I got to spend so much time with them. I had a great time doing my panels. Like, this year was so amazing. And so you get to the closing ceremony, and just the hours leading up to it, you feel this absolute dread, because you're like, it's gonna end. And it was very hard. And the good thing is the closing ceremony closes out Gallifrey One, but it did not close up LobbyCon, because I mean, the closing ceremony ended at like 5:30 p.m. and I was hanging out with friends at LobbyCon until 1 in the morning. So that's about what, like, I'm so bad at math. It's at least 6 hours of just hanging out with friends, if that gives you an idea of just how fun LobbyCon was. So thankfully that kind of eased me out of my sadness, even if I was super sad to leave the next day. Really quick, I want to add, because I think I forgot to mention it, I was able to meet Katy Manning, who is a total sweetheart. I got her autograph, and again, I apologize if it's not in focus, but she was so nice. Like, I walked up to get the autograph, said hi, and she just immediately stood up and hugged me. And then we talked for a little bit while she did my autograph, and then I left and she hugged me again. And it was just like, I didn't process it. I didn't process it because I love Katy Manning so much. Like, her positivity, her attitude, you know, on Twitter and just in general means so much to me and is so inspirational to me. And people had told me before that, you know, Katy Manning, she's a total hugger. And I was like, you can't tell me that. Like, I will freak out. And then she hugged me twice. Yeah. Overall, I had an absolutely amazing time at Gallifrey One. I could sit here and discuss every single friend that I met, and I could write like a whole essay about how much they mean to me and how excited I was to meet them, and oh god, see, I'm crying. And how much I hope I see them again, but that would make this video so long. So I'm going to put a list of rolling credits. I'm probably not going to show my face during them, but I'm going to put a little list of rolling credits just thanking some of the people that I met. Just because, you know, if I took time for each and every one of them, I don't think I'd ever stop. Because I have so much love and admiration and respect for everyone that I met there, and I'm so grateful that I got that experience. You guys have no idea. Gallifrey One is a great convention. They have a lot of great events. They have great guests. They have great opportunities for photo shoots, chances to meet the guests, panels. They have so much to offer. At the same time, Gallifrey One is so special that I truly feel like they could have none of that, and it would still be so amazing that I would want to come every year. That's how special it is. When you're at Gallifrey One, it doesn't feel like you're just at a convention. It doesn't feel like you're just there as a consumer or just there to like get merch and maybe get a photo and get out. Like, you are there to be a part of something, a part of a community, and a part of a really great shared experience of just love and connection and conversation. And there's so much more to it than just being a convention, that, like I said, they could have none of the aspects of a typical convention and I would still go. It's that great. I'm definitely hoping I can make it back to Galley next year, because I had such a great experience. And if you've ever thought about going to Gallifrey One and you haven't yet, I truly recommend trying to go. It's super great. And it's really special, and it was special last year, and it was 20 times as special this year. So who knows what next year will hold if I'm able to make it. And I'm so grateful thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was entertaining, and I hope that this gave you some insight as to how special Gallifrey One is. And thank you so much to every single person I met for your time and for your love. And I hope that I could be just a smidge as cool as you guys all were. And I hope that all of you watching are staying safe, happy, and healthy, that you're drinking water. And I hope you're having a great day, night, whatever time it is for you. And celebrate the things you love. And goodbye.